Welcome everyone to another live stream. I've showed you in previous videos this amazing proprietary Apple SSD connector for internal SSDs on the previous generation, where this amazing SSD is not yet soldered. And so yeah, previous videos there down below, Apple SSD. The issue is, as I showed you there in 2 videos or so, that Apple, of course, being Apple, they had to use some proprietary adapter and not adapter, socket. So although these are totally fine, either for the very old ones serial ATA or for the later ones PCIe SSDs like this one, and this is a brand new expensive one, but that is for another video, which we could also probably maybe focus check. And so yeah, not this one obviously, but the Apple ones, previous video. Don't want to open my Retina MacBook Pro right now, but yeah, they are just a little bit longer, like this one. So this is already this adapter from the previous video. Oops. So this is a 2 to 20 buck, amazing proprietary to standard M2 adapter PCB that, if you would have also jack to focus, manual focus also for what it's worth. So yeah, this, as you see, so amazing is Apple's SSD that this $2 or if you buy it at Amazon, 20 bucks, mechanical passive adapter adapts your SSD. And I showed you this some year ago, and I finally wanted to upgrade my Retina MacBook Pro, because certainly can't buy the new ones because failing keyboards and such, with this largest, most expensive stuff. And I have there half a terabyte in this, so this is a terabyte or nearly a terabyte anyway. I have there most expensive build to order option, half a terabyte, 512 megabyte, many years ago. And I thought, while I have this in there, of course it's not the latest and greatest anymore, but I can still use it for something like a Ryzen build. And there are also adapters for the reverse, like this. And so this is the second already. You will not believe, I ordered, so you see I have 2 here. And so this other arrived last weekend, and I started already to film another pre-edited video. And just so, not only are there so many on Amazon and eBay that you see they have even slightly different production runs, but they are otherwise, as you may or may not see, entirely identical, which probably we can also bring in slightly better perspective. And so one of them works and the other of them does not work. And maybe it's visible on camera. So yeah, you would think this simple, mostly passive, probably would think it should work passively, finds a bug live on this channel. Let me zoom in maybe slightly more. 1 second, bringing the camera. Yeah, be my guest, find what did they wrong there in China. And I could have fixed this, soldering this myself. So the top one does not work. Maybe you see what's wrong with that. Maybe not. Yeah, as you may or may not see, these resistors there are a little bit crooked. I'm relatively sure this adapter didn't work. I plugged it together, didn't work. So yeah, sometimes I'm not sure what they shorted there. Maybe I ask the seller if he wants to give me most of the money back, and I try to repair this myself. So the second adapter there works, it just arrived, just unpacked. And yeah, of course, what you have seen here, this combination makes no sense otherwise. Like, this is a regular M.2 PCIe that you could use for any other regular PC stuff, and then this adapter, and then this adapter, so adapter for adapter. Of course, this is only for testing. Of course, this goes with also ESD protection. So of course, this adapter goes with this into a MacBook there, as per the previous video, with this amazing adapter. Also, yeah, it's not even for the space, right? As I said in the previous video, the Apple stuff is even longer. Like, seriously, this fits into a MacBook. So yeah, 8 millimeters longer for what it's worth. It's hilarious, it is, but this is also, well, I can't blame them, because for $3 I certainly would not want to manufacture that, but that is a difference between 100% output control and just shipping it and hoping for the best. But if you take a look, so also a shout out, if you are interested in such kind of Mac upgrades, they are significantly cheaper on eBay, here straight from Hong Kong, for €2.82 a piece, maybe including shipping. And yeah, the shipping also, yeah, no, actually not Hong Kong but Shenzhen. Also shipping prices, of course, hilarious. Kind of could order like 20 and sell them myself, because when you compare this to prices on eBay, then yeah, that's $20 in euro or US dollar bucks. So yeah, just if you wanted to have some tip how to save this. I'm not sure if this is VCC or if this is some termination, or if this is a data line, but maybe it shouldn't be a data line. Anyway, the bottom side, by the way, looks like this. And so yeah, this is just some update. Sometimes this stuff just doesn't work, especially if they solder as amazingly as that. And yeah, probably next on this channel need a Louis Rossmann approved microscope. So yeah, mostly passive just. So this is just PCIe, right? This is just the same pinout, just on, well, or not pinout, it's just the same logical signaling and stuff, just yeah, Apple being Apple, showing their valued customers they finger, just what we are used to from Apple by now. And hope you learned something. The previous video is much more in depth, just wanted to share this. The sad thing is, of course, in today's economic situation, if I send it back to Amazon, most likely they just throw it onto the e-waste bin and throw it away, although it should be fixable here with either hot air or soldering iron. So maybe I contact the buyer, the seller, and ask, hey, do you want that I send this back, or do you want to refund most of my money and I try to solder it myself? But yeah, recurring shout out that proprietary pinout stuff is not amazing, and just for your inspiration of Mac upgrades and reusability. Christian, about the NVMe PC adapter board, you might need a patched BIOS to make it work on if the computer is old. You don't need, which is NVMe PCIe adapter. You mean this one? So actually I tested this also for those who are here. I tested this already in the G5, and also, so this is an NVMe SSD, this one. Not NVMe, this is an AHCI, so this is a serial ATI SSD. This is also why it's so expensive and rare. So this should work, except, so this is a very special snowflake one. It has PCIe, but is internally AHCI, serial attached SCSI, a little bit stupid and backward compatibility stuff. And I tried, so I had hoped that this would work in the G5, but it doesn't, because the G5 has serial PCIe attached serial IDE, but the G5 has a very special ServerWorks K2 or so adapter, so the open firmware does not support the generic AHCI controller, unfortunately. And also it also doesn't, at least not in grub, in the Mac Pro 2.1 that we have, so aging one, also doesn't show up in grub. So maybe the BIOS also is artificially only enumerating the known built-in ones. By the way, some differences in this too. I have it slightly hard to believe that they really had their different runs. I mean, they look entirely identical, right? You would think there are some differences, though, except that the resistors are not shorted there. The new one, the working one, also doesn't have an LED, so this has a LED there. And I think this was, yeah, except the PCB color, obviously. And also this standoff is soldered. Where are we here in? So this standoff is soldered. If you were wondering what can they do differently in China, So this standoff is soldered, as you see. It has nothing on the back side. Standoff is soldered, and on this one the screw is a little bit nicer, and this is screwed, and yeah, the screw also looks ugly, but not that it would matter, but I mean, this certainly looks like an extremely, if you were looking for an ugly screw, that boy is certainly one hell of a ugly screw. If don't want to hurt someone, but boy is the screw ugly. And this screw is this is a nice normal modern looking. So yeah, if you were wondering if ugly crappy screws were a thing, then yeah, that would be that versus that. So yeah, really wondering that they have different production runs there. I don't know what they have done there in China, but yeah, that's the in-depths, totally super in-depths adapter stuff. And you get to use on optical and floppy drives. Yeah, but this one is uglier than that, so I agree, but this one is even uglier than that. This is the cheapest, ugliest screw they could somewhere find in China, I think. Anyway, so yeah, just that you learned something, that you know how to proprietary adapter stuff. And when you were wondering why is Apple, so not only did Apple not sell upgrades and such, but yeah, even then people found solutions to the proprietary pinout issue. And yeah, if you were wondering, if you had any doubt why Apple moved to soldered SSDs, then yeah, look on this nice family of adapters. Hope you learned something, and yeah, see you soon for the next funny live stream.